Hi guys and welcome to Fandom Newbie. My name is Shruti and today I am welcoming you from my new setup. So this is the bookshelf that has always been in my house, but I've never had enough books to actually fill it up until now. Now I feel like I have enough books to fill up this bookshelf, and B, it's so messy still, it's extremely messy. I have these posters which I have to remove from here and hopefully put up around the house. I have a whole bunch of junk over here, so I have to reorganize it, but I'm hoping that this can be a cool space where I film all my booktube videos. So yeah, I'm excited about that. The second thing that I'm really excited about is that we hit 4,000 subscribers. Oh my god, thank you so much you guys for subscribing and supporting this channel. It really means a lot to me. This little community that we have over here is just so amazing. I don't know if I've said this, but I don't have a lot of friends in my life that read books that I can discuss with. So this channel and this community is kind of like my outlet for everything book related and geeky stuff related, where I can just talk to you guys and discuss with you guys, and it makes me feel so happy. And yeah, just thank you so much for all your support, because it really means a lot. I love all of your comments that you guys leave on my videos, and it makes my heart feel very happy, this little community that we've created here on Fandom Newbie. So thank you so much. In honor of 4,000 subscribers, I will be hosting a giveaway really soon. I'm still trying to figure out a few things about the giveaway, but that will be coming up really soon, so stay tuned for that. But today's video, as you guys must have seen from the thumbnail, is a book haul video. I recently went shopping and I bought a whole bunch of books. I think there are about 13 or 14 books in here. So without further ado, let's just get started. The first book that I bought is The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. So this is a fantasy series where every city in the world is kind of personified. Every city is its own character. And I think this is about New York City, if I'm not mistaken. And I found that concept super quirky and super interesting. Firstly, I love traveling and I love exploring cities and understanding the heart of a city. And a fantasy novel where that heart is actually personified, I think is super cool. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this one. I don't really know much about it other than the fact that the cities are personified, but I've heard N.K. Jemisin's writing is absolutely amazing. So I'm really excited to start this one. The next book that I bought is Call Him Mine by Tim McGavin. I think that's how you pronounce his name. So the premise of this book is that there is a reporter, Andrew, who along with his boyfriend Carlos, I believe they live in Mexico. And Andrew is just sick of reporting the same old stories of Mexican drug cartels, of politics and all those things. He's sick of reporting the same stories again and again and again. Until one day, Andrew stumbles upon one of the biggest stories of his lifetime. But as he digs deeper into this story, something tragic happens and Carlos ends up being murdered. And then Andrew has to decide whether he has to kind of go even deeper into the story and figure out who killed his boyfriend and why this happened, or does he step away from the story of a lifetime. It's supposed to be a fast-paced thriller, and it has a lot to do with, of course, the Mexican drug cartels and a lot of politics between the US and Mexico, and I thought that was really exciting, and that's why I'm really excited to read this one also. The next book on my list is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. Now this book, I think, is the story of Troy, the Helen of Troy and that whole war that happens, but it's told, I think, from a different point of view. So the main character in this book is a young prince named Patroclus, who is actually exiled from King Peleus's court. Now King Peleus, he has his own son whose name is Achilles. So Achilles and Patroclus, they kind of develop a friendship between each other. And when Helen of Troy actually gets kidnapped, Patroclus and Achilles actually go to war in Troy. And when they go to war in Troy, basically their friendship, I think, is tested, and they go through some of the most difficult times in their life. So it does seem like it's the story of Troy, like the movie Troy, which has Brad Pitt in it. And I've always been very fascinated with that story. And in general, I've been very fascinated with like Greek myths and Greek stories. So I'm quite looking forward to reading this, because I've also heard that Madeline Miller is an amazing author, and I haven't read any of her books, even though I have Circe. It's on here. I have Circe, but I have never read it. So I'm really looking forward to read at least one of Madeline Miller's novels, because I think I should. The next book that I bought is The House in the Silurian Sea by T.J. Klune. Now, I've heard so much about this book, and the main thing I've heard is that it's extremely heartwarming. So the premise of this book is that there is like a middle-aged man named Linus Baker, who actually works in the department in charge of magical youth. So this is a fantasy book. Basically, Linus Baker is called to then go on like a mission to an orphanage, and this orphanage houses 6 young children who have extremely dangerous magical powers, because the power of these children is so dangerous that it could bring about the end of the world. Now, when Linus does go to the orphanage, he is extremely like intrigued by the orphanage master, whose name is Arthur. Linus and Arthur then develop like a strong relationship and a strong friendship, and they take it upon themselves to keep these children safe, even if it means that the entire world has to burn. What I've heard about this book is that it is extremely heartwarming, like I said, and it has one of the sweetest queer relationships ever written. So again, I'm very excited to read this one. The next book that I got is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. The premise of this book is basically before you die, or like somewhere at the edge of the world, there is a library that exists which has a book for different versions of your life. So basically, like each book is kind of like a version of your life that could have happened if you had taken a particular decision differently. So the main character is Nora, and her life has just gone like her life has just taken a really bad turn, and on the last day of her life on earth, she finds herself in this library, and then from there she can basically go and revisit like different versions of her life. So just that premise and the fact that there's this hidden library is something that I found super intriguing and super interesting, which is why I picked up this book and I really want to read it. The next book that I got is The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini. Now, I've spoken about A Thousand Splendid Suns about 1,000,000 times on this channel. It is one of the best books that I have ever read in my life, and it's just a book that really touched my heart. So when I've spoken about A Thousand Splendid Suns, a lot of you have told me to read The Kite Runner, which is also by Khaled Hosseini, so I finally picked it up. This book, again, is the story of Afghanistan. A Thousand Splendid Suns was also the story of Afghanistan, told from the point of view of 2 extremely resilient young women. This one, I think, has a male protagonist, and it is set in the time just after the monarchy like fell in Afghanistan and the Russian forces came and took over the country. So again, I'm pretty sure it has to do a lot with the political turmoil that took place in Afghanistan and how the life of the male protagonist changed because of this political upheaval that takes place in the country. I'm sure that Khaled Hosseini's writing is going to be amazing, because he has such an amazing, emotional, vivid way of writing that really is like heart-wrenching and that really touches you. So that's why I picked it up, and that's why I really want to read this one. The next book that I picked up is Dune by Frank Herbert. Now, this one also has been recommended to me by you guys, so that's why I picked it up, but also because my husband really wanted to read this book. He's been dying to read this book for the longest time, so we finally bought it. I really don't know much about this book apart from the fact that it is a science fiction epic. Like, every science fiction nerd out there says that this is the book that you need to read if you want to fall in love with science fiction as a genre. And yeah, that's pretty much all I know about it. I know also it has a lot of political intrigue. There's a lot of politics and stuff that happens inside this book. But apart from that, I don't really know much about it. Like, it's a science fiction epic. It's one that has to be read if you love science fiction, so that's why I bought it. The next book that I got is The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. Basically, Evelyn Hardcastle is murdered at a masquerade ball, or like a masquerade party, and our main character Aidan Bishop has to discover or find out who killed Evelyn Hardcastle. The twist, however, is that our main character Aidan Bishop is stuck in kind of like a time loop. So basically, every day Aidan Bishop wakes up in the body of a different guest that attended this masquerade ball, and every day he is given those 24 hours to figure out who killed Evelyn Hardcastle. But every day there is someone, I'm guessing who the killer or the villain of the story, that's stopping Aidan Bishop from finding out who killed her. And the only way that Aidan Bishop can exit this loop and exit and I guess lead on or go on with his life is if he figures out who killed Evelyn Hardcastle. I think that that is just such a weird, twisted and amazing premise, and it really reminds me of like an Agatha Christie kind of whodunit style novel, but with this really strange science fiction twist of like being stuck in this time loop. The next book that I got is Influence by Sarah Shepard and Lilia Buckingham. Now, this book is written by the same author that wrote Pretty Little Liars, and the premise of this book seems very similar to that. Basically, the story follows the lives of 4 influencers living in Los Angeles, California. And each influencer, it seems like they have a mega major secret that they need to hide. And that secret coming out could destroy their careers as influencers, bloggers, or whatever they are. What I found super interesting about this book is, firstly, because it's written by the author of Pretty Little Liars, this also seems to have that kind of thriller aspect to it. It's not really mentioned at the back of the book what the mystery is. It's just that each of these influencers have a secret that they really want to keep hidden. So I'm assuming that something thrilling happens, some kind of blackmail or something happens in this book, which is very similar to Pretty Little Liars. And the second thing is that I really like books that explore the influencer phenomena, because that is something that's so relevant to our generation and this age, especially with social media and all the different content creators and influencers that have come about. So any book that really explores that phenomena is something that I find super interesting, which is why I'm really excited to read this one. I think this one is going to be my next read after I finish The Dragon Republic, which I'm currently reading. I think I'm going to pick this one up because it just seems super intriguing. The next book that I got is The Dry by Jane Harper. Now, this one also seems to be like a thriller. So the main character in this book is a federal agent, Aaron Falk, who along with his father was run out of their town because of something that happened. But after many years of being away from his small hometown, Aaron discovers that his best friend Luke has been murdered, and not just Luke, but Luke's entire family has been murdered as well. So this forces Aaron to kind of come back to his small town and face whatever, face the demons that he has of his past, and also face exactly what happened that caused him to be run out of his town. But at the same time, he also has to, I think, figure out who killed his best friend Luke. And that investigation, I think, also unearths a lot of demons from Aaron's past. This book really seems a lot like Sharp Objects. Not it doesn't have the exact same premise, but the similar thing of facing your demons from your hometown kind of vibe, which was also there in Sharp Objects. Plus, it's got really good reviews on Bookreads. It has really good reviews on Goodreads, so that's why I picked it up. Again, this was in the front section of the bookstore, which has the bestsellers and some new releases and stuff. So I thought it was a very interesting premise, and because of the good reviews, I picked this one up. The next book that I got is Mythos, the Greek Myths Retold by Stephen Fry. Now, this book seems like the Greek mythology version of Jaya by Devdutt Pattanayak. So this is basically retellings of the famous Greek myths that exist, but they're told in a way that it becomes relevant to people living today. So basically, I guess it's dissecting the Greek myths and making it relevant to today's times. What I've heard about this book is that Stephen Fry lends a lot of his sarcastic British humor to these stories, and Also that the writing is very, very like Stephen Fry-ish. Like it really feels like he's talking to you through the book. That's why I picked this up, because I really love retellings in general. I really love Jaya by Devdutt Patnaik, and I also loved The Palace of Illusions by Chitra Banerjee. So I want to see how Greek myths can be retold in that fashion. So yeah, that's why I picked this up. And the last book that I bought is Nimona by Noelle Stevenson. Now this one is still like wrapped in a plastic, so I'm going to open it now. Ugh, I hope I can. Ah, there we go. Ah, it looks so pretty. I love the smell of graphic novels. I don't know what it is about like the kind of pages that it has. Like, I really love the smell of graphic novels. And that's how it looks like from the inside. But basically, the only thing I know about this graphic novel is that it is a fantasy tale about dragons and science and symbolism, and that's about it. What it says on the back is that as sidekick and supervillain, Nimona and Lord Blackheart are about to wreak some havoc. Their mission: prove to the kingdom that Sir Ambrosius Golden Lion and his buddies of the Institution of Law Enforcement and Heroics aren't the heroes everyone thinks they are. So basically that's all I know about it. I just know that it's like a fantasy fiction tale told in the form of a graphic novel, and I am just really excited to read this. So yeah, that was my video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below letting me know if you've read any of these books and what you thought about them, or let me know which are some of like the new books that you have bought recently. Also, again, thank you so much for 4,000 subscribers. Really, it really means a lot to me, and do stay tuned for a giveaway very soon. And yeah, if you like videos like these about books, TV shows, any geeky things, then do subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.